Hey folks, how's it going? R&D Diesel here today, and with it getting into the dog days of summer, it's getting really hot. Time to start doing a lot of towing and things of that sort. You got to make sure that your coolant is up to par, make sure that's all taken care of so you don't have any overheating conditions and things of that sort. Now, part of that maintenance of your coolant actually involves the addition of some supplemental coolant additives, or SCAs, and or DCAs, diesel coolant additives, to your diesel's coolant system. Now, these are extremely important for the longevity and life of your diesel engine because SCAs and DCAs will actually prevent something called cavitation, which is essentially the issue where small bubbles will form inside of your cylinder block and they can actually collapse and it will eventually poke holes inside of your engine block. It's a very common problem for a lot of 7.3 IDIs, so if you drive a 7.3 IDI, be very, very cautious of this. Make sure that you take care of those SCAs. That's actually one of the reasons I got the 7.3 Power Stroke over the IDI. It's because the Power Stroke 7.3 is a little bit less susceptible to that cavitation as well. Now guys, this doesn't just apply for the IDI series, but it applies for any diesel that you have, because diesel engines are really susceptible. They have a lot of vibration, things of that sort that go on. They have a lot of pressures that go on inside of the cylinder from the compression, and it just makes them overall very susceptible to cavitation. Now SCAs are basically silicate and nitrate compounds that you put inside your coolant in addition to the regular antifreeze stuff. Now there's a number of ways that you can go about it. Ford actually recommends that if you say use the green coolant that was very typical for the old body style 7.3s, that you actually add this, I want to say it's FW15 additive, and what it is, that is a supplemental coolant additive that Ford recommends that you add to the coolant every 15,000 miles. Now luckily these days we have other coolants and things of that sort available, so that's not always necessary. Let me show you guys what I use. I use this Fleet Precharge. What this is it already has SCA coolant or additives to it, so that you don't need to worry about adding that later on down the road. But with that, I do make sure that I have a set of test strips on hand. That way you can verify and make sure that you have the proper concentration of supplemental coolant additives inside your coolant system. It's also very helpful if you're looking for a used truck. If someone has been taking care of their SCAs, and you can probably figure that the rest of the truck's probably in good shape, that they've kept up with maintenance. Now, I actually got these especially when I was looking for a 7.3 IDI for a while, and I realized I would not buy a 7.3 IDI unless it had hints at least of supplemental coolant additive, just because it is so susceptible to cavitation. Alright, so here's a closer up look of what I've been using for my coolant. It's Fleet Charge, SCA Precharge. That's the main thing that you look for, is that it has the SCA in it, supplemental coolant additive precharge. And that just makes it a lot easier. One of the things you got to be careful about too is that the silicates and nitrates that are used to prevent cavitation actually do deteriorate over time, because they're actually used to basically protect the engine. So one of the things you got to do is you got to use test strips and things of that sort. Like these I have here. I picked them up from Napa. And this is a set of 50. Now the only downside is that these actually go bad. They expire a little bit later on this year, and so I probably didn't need to get 50. I think there's some places online that you can get just a few at a time, because I've probably only used about 6 or 7 of these, and I've owned this truck over a year. And you really only need to check the SCA Precharge stuff, I don't know, maybe every 15,000 miles or so, whatever's suggested in your owner's manual. Now the way these coolant test strips work is that basically it's just a little, basically a piece of paper like this, and you'll dip this in your coolant, and then you can compare it to these charts here on the side, whatever the color looks like. This one hadn't been dipped. I'll show you here in a little bit what it all looks like. But this main thing over here on the left is the main one I'm concerned about. This is where the SCAs are. So if it's completely white, it basically has no SCA in it, and then of course the pinker it gets, then you got more SCAs, and this right here represents the ideal range. But alright, so I'm going to show you guys here today what I do to check my supplemental coolant additives. Now I don't really do this too much, because it really isn't necessary to check it too often. If you've got the proper level at one point, you know, the Ford recommends that you check it every 15,000 miles, and past that you should be good. So I like to take off this upper radiator hose. You could probably go through the Degas bottle, but I figured this stuff actually circulates through the engine on a regular basis, and so this will give us a much better accurate representation of what the coolant looks like inside the engine itself. So pull this off. Careful not to spill any. Now the coolant is sitting just a little bit down here inside of the radiator. So I'm going to go ahead and get out one of my test strips. For accuracy, you want to make sure you don't touch the little colored sections, just touch the white paper. Now what I like to do is stick it inside a piece of wire and get that kind of clamped in there, so we get to see a little bit more reach. I'm just going to swap it inside the engine here real quick. Alright, so now we've got that. Go ahead and put this radiator hose back on. Don't forget to tighten that back down. Now once you dip these test strips, you want to make sure that it sets for about a minute or so, just so that all the chemicals can finish reacting so we can get a good accurate measurement. Alright folks, so I've let my test strip set for quite a while, and you can see that it's kind of all changed colors and everything of that sort. Especially taking a look at the SCA one, you can see it's very pink compared to the originals that was a little bit yellow in color. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to compare it to all these stuff in the back of the strip here. And if you compare the SCAs, you can see mine's, it looks just about right, maybe a little bit higher concentration it should be. Because right here, that's the ideal reading. And then you look over here, the middle strip actually tells us the concentration. I run about a 50-50 mix, and you can see this is about spot on. And one of the things you got to be careful of is you don't want to add too much SCAs as well. And the downside to adding too much SCAs, as you can see right here on the very bottom, is where it's kind of a really dark purple, as you can see. If your test strip came out like that, you probably want to actually lower the concentration of your SCAs. Because too much SCA in a cooling system can actually cause deposits and things of that sort to build up, and that's really detrimental to your cooling system as well. And so just want to make sure you have the proper balance.
Now folks, just to clarify everything, if you drive a truck equipped with the 6.9 IDI, the 7.3 IDI, or some of the earlier model 7.3s, those typically came with green antifreeze from the factory. Now green antifreeze, as recommended, does not come SCA pre-charged typically, unless of course you opt for some other option that does. Now with that, you're going to need to make sure you add the modern Ford equivalent VC8, that is Ford's recommended supplemental coolant additive for the green coolant. Just make sure that you have the proper SCA levels. Now there's certainly other options out there as well. There's Napa Cool, I think Wix has some stuff as well. There's tons of options out there in the market. And every manufacturer is going to have different levels that you need to add to the coolant to make sure you have the proper ratios. But the main thing is just make sure that you have the proper SCAs. Now, later on down the road, Ford switched over to typically that gold coolant. From my understanding, that stuff is SCA pre-charged, so if you run gold coolant, you should be fine initially with SCA, but Ford still does recommend that you keep an eye on those levels and that you add, again, the VC8 additive as well as time progresses, because that supplemental coolant additive does eventually break down with time. So that should apply for some of the later models, 7.3s, 6.0s, 6.4s, and Ford eventually switched to the orange coolant with the advent of the 6.7 Power Stroke, and I believe that uses VC12 supplemental coolant additive. And just to make sure, consult with your owner's manual and make sure that you guys maintain those proper SCAs, because the last thing you want is to poke a hole in your block.
Well guys, that pretty much does it for this video here today. I hope you enjoyed it and hopefully it helps you out understand a little bit more about your coolant and understand about cavitation and ways that you can maintain your coolant to prevent cavitation from occurring. Now, if you are a little bit more curious as to figuring out more about why cavitation occurs, you can check out this video right here. And if it's not up just yet, it's probably because I'm still working on it. I just posted this video, but hint, it does have to do with some fluid mechanics, but it is kind of cool because it actually doesn't just apply to diesel trucks, but it also applies to anything that moves in a fluid, whether it be like boat propellers or pumps or anything of that sort. Well guys, in the meantime, y'all take care, have a good one, and stay cool.